Flaws and all, womanhood, sisterhood, and traveling through the worst hood, adulthood, conversation from a woman's point of view. This is the S.I.S Podcast.
Hey, sis.
Hey, sis.
Y'all, welcome back to another amazing episode. It's Feet, a true Jacqueline of all trades. And today, I have the pleasure of hosting our episode with my sisters. So I'm going to give them an opportunity real quick to drop those names because if y'all ain't been listening by now, y'all should know who we are. But
First of all, you sleep.
Okay.
Wake up.
And it's the final episode.
Hello.
You really need to wake up.
Be a message. So go ahead and introduce yourselves, guys.
Hey, I'm your girl, Cleese. Hello, hello.
It's your girl, Jenny, a.k.a. Mrs. O'Neal.
Wake up, everybody. It's the livest sis, T1, everybody's favorite TT.
And I'm your girl, Quell.
I love it. And for those who are just listening and not actually watching, you got to see like the hand motions and all of that. But anyway, if it's your first time tuning in, I really don't know where you've been. But we're glad that you guys are here.
Welcome.
So right now, I'm wrapping up our season 2 episode, Relationships XXXL, Triple XL. A flashback into our past, but also a look forward into our present. Mm-hmm. So today's episode is titled, Learning to Love You, Flaws and All.
Flaws and all, baby.
Flaws and all. Relationships, they can be very serious. Over the last couple of episodes, I've listened to each of us share our stories from love to laughter to heartbreak to abuse. You know, and through all of those things, it is shaping who we are today. It's shaping our perspectives. It's shaping where we're going to go next. Right? So when we think about relationships, romantic relationships have a profound influence on the mental health. And a 2024 APA found that individuals in supportive, loving relationships are less likely to experience mental health issues. Now, the downside to that is that people in the opposite relationships, stressful relationships, have conflicts, breakups, infidelity, all of that actually impacts our psyche and our mental health. Yeah, so those facts are, it's surprising, but is it really surprising?
No, not in the
like if you're happy, then clearly you're not experiencing
better.
Absolutely.
But it's that sincere happy. It's not that crazy, foggy happy we've been talking about this whole time. It's that, I'm actually happy because I've done the work for me.
Absolutely.
And so you're doing things that align with you. So they're adding to what you already have in place.
100%.
So when you're doing that, it does feel different.
Absolutely. And of course, if you've gone through anything, then it's going to impact who you are. You may be a little more subconscious about who you are and what you bring to the table, and if you even feel like you bring anything to the table because of experiences that you may have had. Absolutely. So my question to you guys right now, just to get us nice and started, is how has your past experiences changed your perspective on love and relationships? Absolutely. So I'm gonna run it back real quick because T was like, everybody else like, clock it. So how has your past experiences changed your perspective about love and or relationships? So anyone can hop in first.
For me, I guess I'll pop it on off. Like, just if you watch the last episodes, you would know, the transition here. So, for me, it was very much so choosing me, understanding what I wanted, how do I grow, and then taking that time to work. Because, once you have an official breakup, you're supposed to use that time to like focus on you, learn the lesson that you had or was supposed to learn from that past situation.
But do you feel like it's made you like bitter? When I'm asking about like, has it changed your perspective of love? Like, do you still believe in love, even though you've gone through all the things that you've gone through? Do you still believe in love? Do you still want?
I had to. Okay. I had to, because if you don't, you can't ever get back to that place. If you have that festering, that hate, or that dishonest, everybody's out to get you. You can't get back there. You have to heal within first, understand yourself first, and understand your lesson that you are meant to grasp from that situation first before you can do that actual healing. Because it's not, hearing them say, I'm sorry. It's about, accepting that they're imperfect too. And, saying, okay, forgiving them, like actively forgiving, not just saying, oh, I forgive you, like actually forgiving them and, getting past that on your own without even hearing the I'm sorry, because it doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
Because when they say I'm sorry, it's for them.
Yeah.
It's not for you.
Absolutely.
So you have to heal first within
100%
yourself
agree.
so you can accept the love that's coming towards you. Because if you don't, you're not.
All right. I love that. 2 snaps. Yes, ma'am. Yes, world. Hello. Be the message.
I'm gonna probably be a little, alternative opinion in this.
Okay.
Being that, I'm the only single person, currently on this podcast. So I would say my past relationships, one thing that I'm working on healing, because I feel like I'm still healing.
Yeah,
right?
girl. See, you going into my next question. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Just answer this one. Answer this one. Has it changed your perspective?
I realize
Yes or no?
Not yes or no. Yes and no.
Okay.
Right? Yes, because before my previous relationship, I was very, very jaded. And I didn't, like I said in previous episodes, if y'all was watching, if you haven't watched, if you haven't seen, go back and watch. But I didn't believe in marriage. I didn't believe in a happily ever married after type of fairy tale thing. I'm like, we could do common law. You know what I'm saying? After I draw some legal documents, because you ain't getting nothing to mine. But the whole marriage and kids, I just didn't see that for myself. I was very, very jaded when it came to love and relationships. And I was just like, I'm not really with it. These niggas ain't shit. They just good for dick. And you know what I'm saying? A good time, a fun time, not a long time. And then my last relationship kind of shifted that perspective to where it's like, all right, I can see, marriage is a possibility and a future for me. Now I can see, all right, I do actually want marriage and I'm actually deserving of it. I think that's the hardest part of healing from toxic relationships, is feeling like you're deserving of that love. You're deserving of that happiness. And I had to get to a place of feeling like I was deserving of it. So now I have a different perspective. I do believe it's out there. I'm waiting for my husband to find me, because that's what the Bible says.
And he
Man go find
coming.
a wife, not the other way around.
Right. That
So
hard.
when he finds me, you know what I mean, I'm open, but yes and no, because I'm still healing a little bit, because there's still parts of me that are still slightly jaded. I'm gonna be honest about that.
Despite what I've been through, I'm a hopeless romantic, so it didn't change. I still prayed and wanted. You hear me? Look, God delivered. God delivered. I was like, you 2 years,
honey.
I was, but all right, God, I'm gonna work with them. So yeah,
Okay.
it didn't
I
change
think
my perspective.
for me, it honestly changed my perspective on love altogether. Because I was just like, I don't ever want to love like this again.
I know.
Like it was in
Which is not that shows an unhealing space, but
No, not in the sense that I felt like, T was spoke on it on the first episode, where it was like an elderly person said, love a man, you fall in love with a man who loves you more than you love him. And I never want to be in the space where I love that man more than he loves me, because I feel like I'm operating from a space of lack. And I feel like as the type of personality that I already have, I'm already a giver. And so when you give so much that it surpasses yourself and you're not getting it in return, it's just like you're constantly drained. And so in sense, I kind of shifted my mindset, and I'm going to go into a relationship and what I can pour into it. But I also need to be with somebody who has that same mindset, and I'm in this relationship for what I can pour into it.
Absolutely.
Not what I can get out of it, because then we're both balancing out on what we need.
Yeah, and I think that comes from when you're actually.
That was
People was
wild.
having a whole issue over here. Y'all. We got it together, though. We got it together.
I'm trying to hold it.
Child.
Yeah, that was the whole situation. Dang, I can't even go back to what you was just saying because
to what she was saying, I feel like that's still your perspective
it is.
of love, because I feel like love is different depending on who you are and how you see it. Mm-hmm. So for me, I had to take it to God. And when love is eternal in him.
It is.
And when he says like it's patient, it's kind, it's not boastful, and it's long suffering.
Yeah.
For me, it's not gonna be like hunky dory.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it don't go past my boundaries of what my boundaries are. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not afraid to love how I've loved. You know, you're not going to stop me from loving the way that God created me to love.
Right.
It just me and you was in it.
Right.
But let me be clear in the sense that I felt like the way that I was loving was toxic to myself.
Right.
So yeah, I was just saying that I just want to be clear in the sense that I felt like I remember one of the questions that I asked or somebody asked was that how did you contribute to the toxicity?
Yes.
And so I was
what you're
contributing to that toxicity because I was devaluing myself and making myself less than to be acceptable to that person. Mm-hmm. And I don't ever want to love like that again. Right. Because I know I'm worth more. I deserve more. I'm the shit. The whole table, the chairs and everything.
Period.
So you ain't coming with your table and your chairs. Mm-hmm. We ain't got nothing to talk about.
So
Don't be complicit in your own
like
demise.
A growth mindset when it comes down to looking at the perspective of love and relationships. I haven't heard anyone say that they're not open to love, healing, all of the amazing things. And for me, I definitely think the same thing. Like, I do look at love a little differently because I've always felt like love was an action word. Yeah. But love, because of what I thought love was, like the college me, it made me afraid of love. Because I didn't want anyone to love me as much as I was being loved, because that love caused me to be abused. That love caused me to be stalked. That love caused me to experience all that. So at one point I found myself not wanting love because if that's what love is, I don't want it. I don't want no parts. You know, but where I am now, especially going through the journey that I'm going through, it's like I look at love and I embrace it because it does feel great when you love someone and they love you back equally.
Yeah. And it's healthy.
So I hear y'all say that they should love you a little bit more, but baby, y'all should really love each other so equal that it is. I mean, that like, when y'all try to pour in each other cups, both of y'all overflow.
Yes,
like,
right,
like
absolutely.
Yeah, and I think that loving more, like from the male side, does make it equal in a sense, like. Because women, men aren't emotional.
I mean, we naturally, we naturally.
So it's like to tap into that part of a man is like he gonna show you literally.
Yeah, but I don't want the cray part.
No. Don't nobody want the if I can't have you, can't nobody have you. That's not cute. That's toxic.
For the bird.
Okay, we done talked about that.
Yeah, we talked about that.
So a whole
Healing
different other
from
type of stuff. But the type of love where it's like, baby, when you hurt, I'm hurting. And I'm trying to figure out how to carry your hurt. Yeah. How we gonna share this burden together?
Yeah. Because and that's an equal love.
It's balance. It's balance. And and it's just like when you in pain, I'm gonna take the burden. And then when you're in pain, I'm gonna shoulder the burden. And we're gonna do this shit together. It's always you feel like I'm never doing this. It's that partnership.
Yeah.
Yes.
For sure.
And it's so beautiful coming out of toxic relationship. It makes you really understand what a real love even feels like.
Yes,
when you
definitely.
You think you was in love and you did all these things, and then when you actually get that real love, you're like, I was tripping.
Like, what was I thinking? I could have waited on this.
Because you're adding to what you're already, you're building on yourself. You've done that work. And so you get this person that's like going alongside with you, like, I feel what you're doing. I'm just going to add my little tidbit, but I want you to do you. I support you and what you got going on, and I don't want to hinder that. I just want to be a part of that journey with you.
That's it.
And once that gets that,
that's it.
Girl, let me go on and pass around this offering. Baby she got ready to put on that preacher voice. I heard little Sarah Titty Jackson. Hello.
Go ahead,
the message.
I was just saying, like,
listen.
It's so beautiful once you get on that side of healing and actually getting out of this situation.
Which really brings us to our next thing, guys. And I definitely don't mean to.
I'm waiting on my day to come. It's coming, y'all. It's coming.
Sis.
It's coming. That day is coming for me.
Yes. Let me get a...
I can't, yo.
Which actually brings us to our next question. What has your healing journey looked like? Like, what have you guys done to really heal from all the things that we've heard throughout this entire season? Because this season been heavy. Like, it started out real light. We were talking about hoochie coochies and all that. And we had a whole episode where we had to take breaks because we were crying. And then now, like, just knowing who we are now and how all of those things have shaped our experience, like, what has your healing journey looked like?
I'll say mine has looked like, because I'm still in it. One, therapy. I'm an advocate for therapy. If you haven't talked to therapy, listen. I know it. On top of the fact that renewing a relationship with God and being consistent, diligent, and persistent in that. Consistency in anything is key. And if you truly want to build that relationship and that foundation, you have to continue to feed it and be consistent in it and pray against the temptations. But, you know, especially I just have to know, Black people, you know, for our culture, we be like, I don't need therapy, I don't need that. All I need is God. God made therapists.
Yeah.
Hello.
God
That's a word. That's a word.
And he created a doctor for everything that you need. So they wouldn't exist if God didn't ordain for them to exist. Everything you can't just go to church for. Some things you need to talk about.
God used people. He used people
He does.
of all different backgrounds.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly. So that's what my healing journey has looked like. Therapy and building a closer relationship.
Spiritual
with God.
relationship. Gotcha.
Mine was like just having a child and a newborn and everything, just understanding it's bigger than me. Like understanding that the choices that I make going forward is going to impact a small child that didn't ask to be here. They didn't ask to be in a situation. They didn't ask for me to bring them into the situation. So now that they're here, what am I going to do to protect them so this doesn't happen to them as well, especially having a little girl. And I have two girls now. So it's just like what decision I made going forward, I had to make sure that I was sound, that I aligned myself in a situation where I didn't expose them to things that they didn't have to be a part of because of my bad decisions, you know?
Yeah.
So what it really took for me is just like understanding that I had to learn myself. Also, you know, so I could be better for this little person that's looking at me. I mean, this little beautiful.
But how did you learn yourself?
I lean more on spirituality. Okay. Yes, you know, I come from the Methodist Church, CME, and instead of just looking to go to church and like looking towards the Bible and stuff, I looked outside of that because that's all I knew, you know. And so I was like, but I want to learn more. I want to learn more about other religions because going to a Christian school in high school, like we learn about these different religions, but you know, it just touch upon it. Right. So now I want to go in depth and see, okay, is CME or like the Christian faith really for me, or is it something bigger? And when I started looking outside, I started learning spiritual things and like holistic things and things of that nature. And that's when I started to, you know, work on centering me and figuring out what
aligning them
align
chakras.
Myself. Yes.
Okay, girl.
Period.
Now my niece would love that because her and them daggone crystals. She keeps
Man,
talking
I
about
used
them
to fight her
daggone
so bad about
crystals
and
the goddesses and the Nigerian goddesses and everything else. Like, I ain't Nigerian, child. She thinks you know more about Nigerians than I do.
I hope you guys understood that.
But
I'm glad they work for you, honey.
I mean, but it's really more about understanding yourself with that spirituality.
Yeah,
it's like what can you gain from it? How do you align yourself? How do you put yourself in a space where you can have that vision? Kind of like the what love got to do with Tina, like numb your whole ring get killed. Like it's like understanding, like seeing outside of yourself. You know, seeing things before they happen. You know, and so when you get to that level, you can already foresee.
The real gift.
Yes, but you can foresee things before they even happen to you, and then just try to prevent those cycles from repeating.
Yeah, absolutely.
So meditation is what it sounds like meditating, like meditating, introspection.
I mean, a lot.
Finding her higher self.
Yeah, it's finding your higher self. Not so much you gotta like focus on meditation, but it's just like when things happen, understanding why they're happening, taking that lesson. You know, looking outside of you, understanding energies. When you're in a room, feeling the energy, knowing what something, hey, that you're not supposed to be here.
Yeah.
Remove yourself. Like understanding those, like finding that heightened sense that you have inside that sometimes we don't even listen to. That's the biggest thing.
I think for me, I literally had to hit rock bottom first.
Yeah.
Like I had to like boom. it was literally like shedding my full skin and becoming like fully naked and
absolutely
to get self clarity.
Oh, like maybe
To get to really understand that like I feel like I had to get to the very bottom so that God could show me that you can't do shit without me.
Absolutely.
Like
That
there's
part.
nothing
Now,
that
he
you
will
can
do
do
that.
without me. And so I had to break down like to the point where I was like, do I deserve to be here? You know what I'm saying? And get real raw so that I could be real with myself. And that led to the journey to therapy. And that led to another spiritual journey of like, is the religion that I was currently on something that I needed to stay on, or did I need to change paths? And it took me down a new path. And finding that and becoming one in that and realizing what that did for my life, which ultimately led me to my husband.
Right.
But I had to really like take a good hard look at like, you are heading down the wrong path.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I felt like the answer was, I'm gonna go through this whole phase. Cut off your emotions.
Yeah.
And then it was like going through that, it's like, this isn't working.
Yeah.
So it's
and that's not who I called you and created you to be.
Exactly.
Yes.
A nurturer.
Yes.
To be loving. To be kind. To be
Yes.
all the things.
Yes.
that-
And then going through and understanding, and please be clear that my husband didn't come right after my most toxic relationship.
Right.
It was still let me date you. Oh no, you showing some characteristics of that first one. No.
Right.
Yep.
Let me date you.
But that's the growth of itself, though. To be able to realize, recognize those traits.
Yes.
No, that's
Yes.
not
And
right
run
for you.
for the hills, baby.
Yes.
And you just
Like
like,
like
you
a
may
track
have
star.
everything else that I'm looking for, but baby, you gonna break me down.
It's that one thing that you ain't got. It ain't you, son.
Yeah.
Go ahead and go to the next.
And to piggyback off what Jenny was saying, and I feel like Queese was saying as well, was finding your purpose.
Yeah.
Like, what am I good at? What did God really create me to do? Because I was in these bad relationships that he didn't have for me, but I was going after a whole career that he didn't have for me, crying about, oh, it's my final exam or whatever. I'm just giving up on school. And then it's like, I've called you to teach. So just finding myself in him and who he have called me to be, and then having that purpose and that alignment, now I can see who's my husband.
Yeah.
Who is aligned with me in this.
Right.
You see, when I'm being equally yoked.
Yeah.
So that was important for me. And just like fitness and just loving everything about me and not giving a man or anybody
body
power.
giving, honey.
Hello.
Thank you. Thank you.
Listen.
So for me, it was like looking at myself and feeling beautiful and not giving somebody else the power of saying that you are or you not, and that impact me in such a big way.
100%.
So for me, it's like not looking to my husband for those things. You know what I'm saying? Knowing that come from within.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was big for me.
Oh, look at y'all. Y'all so grown up. Oh, y'all got talk about how y'all was in college and stuff, and look at y'all now.
The evolution.
The evolution. So I can honestly say, like, I'm still on a healing journey. But prior to getting to this healing journey, I will let y'all know I am not afraid to say I am a runner, baby. When they made she's a runner, she's a track star, they made that for me. Okay? Because when things got really tough for me, instead of me facing it, because one thing that I do know, I know that God created me in such a way that I know that I'm powerful, and I know that the words that I have are powerful. So I tend to shut down before lashing out because I know that my words have power. So for me, yeah, sis.
That part.
Yes, sis.
We got you, sis.
Self-reflection. My words really do have power, so I tend to run. And on this journey, I ran miles, baby. I'm a million mile club member at this point. But when I finally got a moment to like pause and stop, the first thing I was able to do was self-reflect. So that was a part of my healing journey, was to reflect on everything, like what impacted me. Because one thing that I did learn is that if you've ever felt some way once, you're bound to feel that way again.
Okay.
So it is very important that when someone makes you feel some type of way that you document that down, because healing, I didn't realize that I was just getting over things. As women, we're so strong that we just get over and we get over and we push through and we get to the next day. Yeah, I absolutely hate being strong. Like, and that sounds bad, but in this essence of what strong embodied, I didn't like hearing that I was strong, because
Strong, that's not a compliment.
Right.
No.
Yeah, it's not a compliment. It's actually an insult.
Yeah.
I don't want
It's like you get beat down and you keep on going. You so good.
Exactly. That's what they talk. Never mind.
Ain't no
Don't
Lost Bunny.
go that deep. But yeah, so like I said, I did a lot of reflection. I still do reflection. I do meditation. I do journaling. I think that journaling is such a healthy part of the healing process, because it shows you where you were and kind of keeps you on track. Like, and you're able to go back and look at it. And journaling could be different. Sometimes y'all may say, oh, I don't have time to write something down. Cool, don't write it down. Do a voice journal.
Yes.
Because that's what I began to do. I would record my voice and I would record where I was in my most vulnerable state, so
but
that I can
documenting
remember
is
those
important.
feelings.
Yes.
Because when we get ready to start forgiving people and taking them back in, you better remember how these people made you feel. Because if you felt that way one time,
you'll feel it
you are
again.
bound to feel it again if you don't attack the problem, not the person,
The problem.
but the problem.
Listen, this the Sis Journal, y'all.
Hello.
Look.
Oh, it's coming. Speaking that into existence. I know, T. Will, you mentioned therapy. Therapy for sure helps you to identify things about yourself that you didn't even know you have. And like I said, for those listeners, I don't know what age group you guys are in, and it really doesn't matter what age group you're in. Just know that once you hit them 30s, them childhood traumas come out.
Yes, they do.
Baby. Okay, and they come out
with a vengeance.
in a different kind of way. And sometimes you don't even realize the trauma that you've experienced, because we suppress things. Naturally, once again, as women, we push through.
Exactly.
But when they come back up, it is important that you take the time to reflect, address those issues, because that's the only way that healing is going to take place.
Yes.
Period. And there is no time frame for your healing. Come
Not
on.
at
So don't think that
Yes,
you're
you
going
can't
to
put a
heal
time on it.
6
from
months.
to 15, 16 years of trauma in 6 months.
No,
That's
not
unrealistic. Bookie.
Very. Yes.
You've been broke for 16
And
years.
I do want to know is that people have a false perception. I know I did, of what therapy is, thinking that it's like it's feel good. Therapy is hard.
It is hard.
It is the
challenges
hardest.
And you have to do work.
One of the hardest things that I've ever done, because it's forced me to face things that I didn't even want to face.
And didn't
It's
even know you
forced
had
me
to face.
that I didn't know I had to face, and forced me to remember things that I'd forgotten, forced me to reflect on things that I thought that I'd gotten over, that I realized I was still holding on to and carrying with me, and forced me to be accountable.
Absolutely.
Be accountable. And that is the hardest thing to do, is be accountable, because it's one thing when you can point the finger and blame somebody else. It's another thing when you have to look yourself in the mirror and apologize to yourself and say, self, I know I did this to you and I'm sorry.
Oh, Tiwa. I love that. I'm telling you, it's making me so happy. Like, things are just so grown. Which brings us to our very last question. And again, guys, this is our season wrap up. Okay. If you did not get a chance to listen to our other episodes this season, you really are sleeping. And I need for you to go back and take a listen to those episodes. Because I promise you, there is something in each of those episodes for each of our listeners.
Yes.
Okay. So with this question, I really want to take it on a lighter note of, what are you most proud of? Like yourself now, you saw everything that you've gone through. You see where you're headed. Like, what are you most proud of? Take this time to really just show some appreciation for your growth. So what are you most proud of?
I'll go first, because it's interesting when you first saying you're a runner and a track star.
Hello.
And I almost got
First place.
emotional, because this is part of the depth of our sisterhood because I was at a period where I hated God and I was angry because of so many things that I experienced and that I went through. And at my core, I'm a good person. And I'm like, why me? You
But
know,
why not you?
Why me?
When you're chosen.
That's what God say. Why
It
not?
was you who forced me to go to church because I hadn't been going to church for years. Who forced me to go to church again? And
Is that why you forcing me tomorrow? Okay.
and I went to church, and then I went to a Wednesday night prayer service, and I was on my face to the ground crying, and it'd been the first time I talked to God in years, and I was like, God, I can't do it no more. I don't have it in me. And I'm like, you left me, and I don't know why. And that was the first time I heard God's voice.
So
And
clear.
he said to me, I never left you.
He never do.
You just turned your face away. I've always been here.
Mm.
And just like that, clear as day. And since then, I've always known that that's where I always have to lean and turn back to because he's always shown up for me. So I'm most proud of listening
Yeah. Of being
to
obedient.
the people
Yeah.
in your life that love you, that care about you, when they tell you to do something and you feel it in your heart, it's coming for a good place. Being obedient and doing the
Lord, that gotta at least get me in heaven for a day. Can I get a day pass?
And that's
That got to get me up there for at least a day. VIP package.
right. And that's God using those people to show you
Yeah, absolutely.
that he has not left you. Because he puts the people around you to show you that, hey, I'm still here. You are the one not paying attention, but I'm here.
Right.
And I'm showing you through these other people trying to show you me because I'm in them.
And he just be waiting on us to come to him. Lord have mercy.
And I look
Lord
at
knows
him
he do.
as like a power source.
Yeah.
So like we have all these things plugged in, right? So God is the power source. And what happens is, like Tiva said, he don't never leave you nor forsake you. That being said, we unplug. Yes, sis. When you tap back in, you plug back in, you receive that power from him to be able to get through whatever it is that you have going on. So we're proud of you. Yes.
Thank you.
No, I was gonna be collecting offering today. I just didn't. I just wasn't expecting that. Basically, is what I'm trying to say. What about y'all? What y'all most proud of?
I think I'm most proud of forgiving myself.
Yes.
Yes.
Because
That is such a hard. It's so hard on ourselves.
Yes.
I feel
yes.
like because naturally we're human. There are so many things in life that I wish I could go back and be like, bitch, why did you do that?
Yeah, but
Like-
we give slack for everybody else.
Yes.
But I'm so hard on ourselves for
Yes.
It literally
Yes.
it took me a long time to get over a lot of the stuff that I did, like and feeling like I'm not worthy of certain things because I'm like, you've done this and you've done that or whatever like that. And so I just felt like I wasn't a good person. Yeah. And
I think
it was
when you know better, you're supposed to do better. And then when you don't do better, it's like,
Extra hard.
yeah, like why? Like what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like it took me a long time to be honest with myself, and it took the honesty with myself to be like, you are worthy of forgiveness.
Absolutely.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I said it in season 1, like, don't hold me to who I used to be. Hold me to who I am and who I show up as today.
amen.
You know, if you're going to be around me, be around me for who I am today, not who I was 10, 15, 20 years ago. You know, so I think that's what I'm most proud of.
I love that.
I think I'm most proud of, choosing to be happy.
Yeah.
In spite of everything that happened, in spite of all the wrong decisions I've made, still accepting those about myself and still choosing to be happy. It showed the happiness within.
Yeah.
Once
Amen.
I got that healing, just still exuberating that happiness,
Yeah.
and then letting it shine so that others can see.
Absolutely.
And it's
Yes.
that God shine that
100%.
you're showing
Hello.
for other
Yes.
for everyone
Yes.
to see, as well as my kids.
Yeah.
I want my girls. When people ask them all the time, like, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" That's the number one question they ask kids. What do
Yes.
you want to be
What
when
do
you
you
grow
wanna
up?
be when you grow
Like they're
up?
supposed to know.
Yeah.
You don't know. You changed your
have a
profession
clue.
50 million times. We probably even in the professions that we were in when we were going to college.
Nope.
But it's that I tell them, I said, when they ask you that, tell them you want to be happy.
Yeah.
Because that's what you should do. Whatever you decide to do in life, you should be happy with what you're doing. Because if you're not happy, you're not gonna have your whole self in it, and you're gonna fail because you can't give your all.
As long as it don't infringe on other people, be careful with that.
Ain't that what tap
Don't infringe on
have a good day, and if you're not having one, please don't ruin somebody else.
Hello.
Yes.
That's what Auntie Tab said.
Tab said it. Don't be ruining nobody else.
Right.
Yeah.
Tab endorse us real quick. Thank you. No, but go ahead.
I'm
sis.
most proud of just me being consistent.
Yeah.
Like being consistent with myself when it comes to health, like not because it's so life always lifing.
Girl,
it's
yeah,
always
that over
something
here.
coming up. Like it's always excuses and things, and being a mom and being a wife and having a 9-to-5 and being an entrepreneur. It's like it's a lot. So I try to just show up every day for myself and try to like whatever it is that I'm doing, kind of engulf myself in that. So if I'm at school and I'm teaching, you're a teacher right now.
Right.
When I'm at home with my son, you're a mom right now.
Right.
When I'm with myself, it's all about you, girl. You and God right now. We at the gym. We doing hip thrust, and we praising the Lord at the same. And we praising the Lord at the same time. And when I'm with hubby, I'm with Big Daddy. So it's like just showing up and being consistent and being present, because we have so much stuff on our mind that we are present physically, but not mentally.
Yeah.
And that was a big thing for me.
Y'all see how
So,
that be.
But that consistency go hand in hand with being disciplined.
Discipline.
Yeah.
And so I feel like I commend you because to be
That's
consistent
discipline.
is to be disciplined.
Yes.
And that shit is hard as
Yeah.
I need you to spread that discipline over here.
Yeah.
So I
I'm
can
still
get
working on that.
J-Quell workout plan. Thanks to Quell's workout plan. I'm envy all my friends.
Yeah, so I think to close up for me, what I'm most proud of is learning to really know myself and love myself unapologetically. To say self-love is the best love, I've heard us not love ourselves.
So-deserving.
This entire season, I've heard a lot of not self-love.
The college versions. Yeah.
The college versions of us was a lot of, loving others, external, putting them first. But I'm really proud that I'm able to put myself first. And to put myself first unapologetically, because I don't give a damn. Like,
Period. As you
about
should.
what anyone
As
else
you
thinks.
should, sis.
Not one vote.
Yeah, and I really struggle with this part of it because of like image and just like always upholding the perfect this, the perfect that. But to shatter those expectations is so liberating.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like I can
Oh, it's a
literally scream
freeing.
right now, but I ain't gonna do it because I don't want to scare y'all if y'all in the court. But just know, like when you really choose yourself, it is absolutely liberating. So I do want to take the time to thank our listeners so very much. Those who are watching on whichever platform that you're watching or listening on. We just want to thank you guys for staying with us this entire season. If you did not have an opportunity to hear our first season of the S.I.S podcast, I do ask that you take some time to go back, listen to that first season so that you can get to know us on a different and more intimate level. This season definitely brought out different parts of us that we didn't even know about each other. So
True that, no doubt.
yeah. So I can tell you that there's a lot of growth going on here. There's a lot of reflection. And I'm hoping that you guys will take the time to grow yourselves, 100%. To reflect 100% as well. And just go and be the best versions of yourself that you possibly
As you got
can.
it.
As you should.
You
As
definitely
you
got
should.
it. If you are not following us on all of our social media platforms,
sleep,
I
wake
ask that
up.
you take the time right now, not now, but right now.
Now.
If you guys will take the time right now to log on to Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and all of our other social media platforms.
Hallelujah.
And all you have to do is type in Simply Incredible Sisters. And that's Sisters, SISTAHS. Okay, not
better
sisters.
spell
I'm
it
not
out
your
right.
sister.
Yeah.
Okay. No, but we have enjoyed you guys this season. We hope that you guys learned something and can take something away from each of these episodes. And we look forward to you guys listening to our next season because it will be coming soon. Until next time, sis, we out. Bye.
Bye.
Sis. Bye.